I'm Greg Caton, co-founder of Alpha Mega Labs. Um, Previously, I was talking about fake news, the nature of fake news, and I tied it into my book, The Joys of Psychopathography. I wrote another book in 2018. It's called Living on the Precipice. And the subtitle is Global Corruption, the Supremacy of Fake, and Reflections on Near-Term Human Extinction. As it relates to talking about fake news, Chapter 27 of the book is called Forget Fake News. And I want to read it because it helps bring other things into focus. The title of the chapter is Forget Fake News. The greatest challenges of our time are fake science, fake medicine, and fake education, confronting a horrifically suppressive global system designed to keep us misinformed, chronically ill, and just plain stupid. I begin with a quote from author Chris Hedges, who is about my same age. We must either defy the corporate state or accept our extinction as a species. We have been stripped of the power to express dissent or affect change. Rebellion is the only way to remain fully human. And then I proceed with the text of the chapter. Since Catherine and I moved to Ecuador in 2007, I've repeatedly told friends that the place of my birth, the United States of America, has morphed into something that I scarcely recognized. It has become truer with each passing year, with a critical component of that assessment being the degree to which so much of what constitutes ordinary life is riddled with the fake and the fabricated. The entire FDA case against me, which stole 8 years of my life, 2003 to 2011, was riddled with preposterous claims, culminating in Hillary Clinton, then U.S. Secretary of State, signing an order to have me illegally kidnapped in 2009, an act that was later condemned by the Ecuadorian government. If I seem somewhat bold in my description of our life in the Matrix, it is only because I have seen it up close and personal in a way that few citizens ever do. Occupying much of the current social and political discourse today is this pejorative meme, fake news, an expression that the mainstream media conjured up to excoriate their blossoming competition in the alternative media, only to see the effort result in egg on their face as they themselves became identified with the very fakeness they so assiduously attempted to ascribe to others. Those who have read any portion of my free online book Metatopia know that for many years I have been sounding the alarm about the perniciousness of the ubiquitous fakery that is neither isolated in geography to the U.S. nor in content to current affairs. It is a virus that affects every aspect of our lives worldwide. I was reminded of the incorrigible character of this virulent malignancy when Scholar Open Access, a website designed to help expose the exploding tsunami of fake scientific journal articles, was unceremoniously closed down in January. This would be January 2017. No one who works inside the closed world of scientific journals is unaware of this scandalous development, which is probably why a few at the top have thrown in the towel and gone public. A professor of molecular oncology in Australia has recently started up her own truth journal to expose fake science. We'll see how far she gets before she is closed down, and the same goes for Natural News' new offering, fakescience.news, which has more fake science reports at its disposal than it can ever be expected to cover. This may have contributed to the actions of Google, another gem of a 5-star brothel whose clients include large corporate and government-vested interests, to recently target Natural News. Nonetheless, these developments appear to have done little to re-educate the general public, who still rely on the exudate of the establishment's information sewer system to make life and death decisions, particularly as it relates to healthcare. How do I know this? Because, to cite just one example among many, we talk daily to people who have been duped by their physicians into chemotherapy, not knowing that this conventional cancer therapy has a 97% failure rate. And few things in this world are so vigorously supported by fake facts and fake science as conventional cancer therapies. The exploitative underpinnings of our surreal global culture have their roots in poor education. You can't very well be expected to control the minds of a citizenry that is well educated and informed. I realized this some years ago while reading Alexander Fraser Tytler's book, Elements of General History, Ancient and Modern, a history book for children written in the early 1800s. I keep a copy of it in my own library. 12-year-olds routinely read this work as part of a basic education, and today you'd be hard-pressed to find college graduates who could thoroughly comprehend it. So rich is the language, grammar, syntax, the extensive vocabulary, complex sentence structures, etc. Tytler's work is an ancient American relic from a time and place where the purpose of education was to educate and not indoctrinate. Which brings me to the purpose of this essay, that you cannot, as Chris Hedges would say, retain your humanity unless you exert the effort to resist a system intent on dehumanizing you, using you, exploiting you, and then discarding you. This begins with a firm commitment to your own self-education, your own quest to uncover truths that your overlords are intent on suppressing. You cannot expect to rise above the fakery unless you become your own authority.